Coming up on Unsound Advice.
As I've gotten older, I value time
Absolutely.
a lot more than money now, too.
Yeah.
I will park at LAX. I will keep my car there. I will pay the money to keep my car at the garage. It's just such a luxury at this point in my life. I'm like a Saudi prince, dude.
For real. I investigated that once and I was flabbergasted by the prices. I can't even remember them.
Just hopping in coach after spending all this money.
That was what's going on in my head.
Cut corners where I can, and then just cram myself in the middle seat of coach.
Do you do that?
What do you mean?
You don't fly like Comfort Plus at least? Are you shitting me,
I'm
dude?
a coach, baby.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I love BDSM. those
Yeah, no
just
kidding. Put this guy in a
They go,
trunk.
do you want any snacks? I go, no, just spit in my mouth. I'm in the middle seat. Can you kick me in the balls? If they're bringing lunch service around, just punch me in the balls to wake me up. I want to have this hard bagel. That would be funny. That's my fetish, and I fly Spirit Airlines, and I just want to be treated like shit.
Twice in the last month, I had to come pick her up from a guy's house drunk at 4:30 in the morning.
Do I just assume he's not interested anymore?
So I'm in my second marriage. My first one ended because my wife cheated on me, and my second wife is starting to act in a similar way.
Hey, Laura.
Hi, Lara.
Hi. Hey there. I know you're a 12-step program person, so I was just wondering, how do you break up with a hairstylist?
A bunch of my coworkers are really bad at their jobs.
And I wanted to try, bringing her back into my life. I'm just wondering if you had any guidance for me.
Give me a strategy here.
Where do I start? How do I even begin?
And how do I stop eating cookies? Because I love cookies so much.
Thanks a lot, Lara. You're the best.
Let's get into it. Hi, welcome to Unsound Advice with Lara BEITZ. I'm Lara BEITZ. I'm very excited for today's guest. The New York Times said he is a most promising future star, and in 2019, Variety magazine dubbed him one of their comics to watch. You may have seen him on Conan, Seth Meyers, Goatface, or The Carmichael Show, and his latest special Hat Trick, where he does spots in all three rooms at the Comedy Store, is available on YouTube. Fahim Anwar, thank you for being here.
Hey, thank you for having me. Sounds like I've done some stuff when you read it back.
Yeah, you have done some stuff.
I guess, so have you, but you forget, right?
I do forget.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do forget. A lot of information is out there about me also that's not true. So it's always exciting to me when someone
you got lies out
does
there?
what I just did. Yeah, there's some misinformation about me being a puppeteer, which has never
How
been
does
the
that
case.
Get out there?
Someone wrote it. You know what I mean?
kind of want that as my origin story as well.
Well,
Can
then
that
you're
person
gonna
do it
love-
for me?
Please let me finish. You're going to love the second part of your intro,
Okay,
which
please.
is now Chapter 2 of Fahim's intro. He does puppets.
Okay. So this will spawn. This will be the branch in my story.
Yep, that's right.
We'll trace it back to here.
Yeah. Anyone can write anything on the internet.
That's
But,
a good point. It's the beauty of it.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. You and I see each other at the Comedy Store. and
Coworkers.
We're coworkers. We
I
work
bring
together.
you up, you bring me up, you
Yep,
know? It's
that's
a real
right.
hub. That's our water cooler.
We ate fish together in a green room one time. Do you recall that?
Hold on.
We
Where
had
did the
some
fish come from?
Salmon?
What, did we get it from the same? I'm trying to think.
Yeah, at Flappers we ate salmon.
Ah, yes. We both do fish there.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. It's a good menu.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I remember you told me that you didn't eat any snacks.
Yeah, we were talking about just
Yeah.
somehow our eating habits came up before hitting the stage.
Oh,
you know?
I'm sure I immediately brought them up as I do anytime I eat anything or speak to a person. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not a big snacker.
Yeah, you told me it's just when you
3
are at
square
your
meal.
mom's.
Yes, because
and then
then
you do some snacks.
Then it's sort of a time machine, and then I'm 12 or 13 again.
Yeah.
Like I like Pringles, but I won't buy Pringles. I won't go to the store and buy them for myself.
Right, of
But
course.
when I visit my parents, my mom has an arsenal of Pringles.
Yeah.
They look like shells, you
Yeah.
know? Like there's original. There's my
Yeah.
personal favorite, sour cream and onion.
Yeah.
And I will just house.
You party, right.
I party.
Yeah.
You blink
I
and
know.
half are gone.
They're stackable.
That's the
don't
problem.
Make
They
them
made
like
it too
that.
efficient for me to eat.
Right. They're like, if you like chips, you'll love eating 10 chips at one time.
Yeah, it's just like it's a very efficient way to consume chips. If
Yeah.
you are opening up a bag of kettle chips, you've got to search your hand around there. There's a hide and seek element to it.
Right.
Pringles is just pure dense potato slurry,
Right.
cured.
Yeah.
I mean, I found out kind of later that they're not real chips, and you'd think that would deter me from eating them.
Who defines that?
I think the Potato Chip Council
Oh,
or
just
something.
like it's not a slice of a potato. It's a mush.
It's a
that then
mush
was
that is
put into
hardened
shapes.
in a-
Yeah,
yeah.
that feels right.
You know, in hindsight, it's obviously, because like what potato
Yeah.
has that form?
Is like that? Right. Yeah, they're the chip that you measure the amount that you've eaten in inches as opposed to like
depth. You go, man, I've had 5 inches of Pringles. I've gotta slow down here.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I stopped eating snacks too. I now do 3 meals a day, and I like that a lot. I got really used to, like, I never want to eat at night anymore, which I never imagined. It's so much better.
I think it's easy for me to track food if I just have 3 square meals, because I can mindlessly just pop chips in my mouth, have a cookie. It's something to do.
Yeah.
So it's even less about calories, just more of like mind. It's like biting a pencil.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like 3 square meals. Okay, that's an easier way for me to kind of stay fit or something.
Yeah. It's so funny how many different ways people eat now, because like I've told people that I eat dinner usually at 5 and I eat breakfast usually at like 7 or 8. And I've had people be like, intermittent fasting is really bad for women. And I'm like, I really think it's fine to eat 3 meals and then to stop. Like, people did this for a long time and it was okay.
And also what works for you. I know they're very hot on intermittent or whatever, but like may not be right for everyone. Or maybe some people get like way too cranky.
Yeah.
You could give it a spin.
But that's like not even what I'm trying to do.
What, intermittent fasting?
Intermittent fasting. I'm just eating 3 meals.
Yeah. I feel like it's a nice happy medium.
Well, and that way I feel like you can eat a satisfying amount of food, because I think that snacks usually are just in addition to what you would be eating as 3 meals.
Yeah,
you know
it's
what
extra
I mean?
credit.
Yeah, like people don't take out of their meals to like make a snack.
No
you know what
like,
I mean?
I had 4 Oreos. I really shouldn't have this steak.
Right. Yeah. Cool. Well, I don't know. I mean, can we pop into a call right away?
Let's do it.
Am I getting into these too quick? I'm just so excited for these calls.
They're fun calls. We've been getting some really good calls lately.
Let's do some calls. Let's do a call, one at a time.
Hey, Laura.
Nope.
Long-time listener. Big fan of your comedy. I just wanted some advice. Hopefully you could talk about it on the podcast. If not, someone probably asked a better question than me. But I just got out of a relationship. She caught me messaging another girl for the second time. Don't know why I did it. She's beautiful. She's smart. She loved me. I loved her. I didn't care about this other person. It was kind of mindless sexual messages. Why do I keep doing this? How do I stop? I need help. I'm heartbroken. Okay, thanks.
Fahim, why does he keep doing this? Do you have any insight into that?
This just may be a pattern. I think that it's hardwired. It's almost like the way you do the holy trinity of apps, where you go Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and you just keep doing it. So maybe he's been doing it. He's just used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe he likes that more than an actual relationship at this point in his life.
Yeah, but then don't you like Hinge was part of my app rotations, but then when I became exclusive with someone, I deleted that so that it wouldn't be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, why has he not stopped? Because he's in a relationship.
I think some guys get addicted to the chase or the hunt, and that's validation more so than the great thing you have in front of you.
Yeah.
You value the anonymous validation. Like, that's more important to you, more exciting than something lasting with someone.
Right. I think a lot of people get addicted to the validation, like you said. I think people also get addicted to the adrenaline.
Yeah.
Like to the dopamine of getting the message, to the adrenaline of the fear of being caught. And then I heard someone one time identify as a shame addict. And I was like, wow. And I'm not even saying that's a thing, but it was interesting. It made me think. As far as my advice, I mean, I don't know. I used to act out in a number of ways. And something that helped me was going to a support group about that and just frankly, working the steps around it. I don't know. Do you have advice for him?
Well, the fact that he feels this bad about it, and if it's repeated behavior and now it's enough to call you, I think that's the catalyst for change, because if you want it to be different, then you have to take steps to actually make it different. Like, now do you value a lasting relationship in someone? This thing that slipped through your hands, is that the wake-up call?
Yeah.
You know? Because maybe that was the thing that you wanted initially, just this immediate validation from someone. But now maybe you're seeing this more lasting thing is more satiating. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that there are a number of different reasons that people cheat and a number of different reasons that men cheat. I think often men will cheat because they want to get out of their relationships and they don't know how. Like they're afraid of breaking up, and so they hope that they get caught, or they think that even just cheating, if they tell their partner that they cheated, their partner will break up with them. I think that it's like a way out some of the time.
Yeah, from an efficiency standpoint.
Yeah.
You go, look, this isn't going to be drawn out or anything.
Yeah.
It's not great, but it's quick.
Yeah.
It's a fucked up Band-Aid.
I don't think it always works either. I think that sometimes you
I
can
forgive
tell someone,
you. You're like,
right,
what?
they forgive them. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I think that that's one reason. I think that also people can cheat when they don't feel respected. My therapist said that like men can cheat if they don't feel respected, if there's something missing from the relationship. But what I'm hearing when he's talking about this is it sounds involuntary. Like it sounds compulsive. It doesn't sound like a choice that he's made. And it doesn't sound like anything is missing from the relationship that he's trying to get somewhere else or where he's trying to like sabotage his relationship. It sounds like he's powerless over his own behavior.
Yeah. I guess if it's that bad, then maybe you're just not the guy for the traditional, then don't get in a relationship if this is repeated behavior.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, I certainly would suggest staying out of a relationship until you can control this behavior. And if that day doesn't come, then yeah, find a different system, find a different person who's okay with a different system. Yeah, JP, what do you think?
I've also got a question about, I'm curious if he is self-destructive in other aspects of his life. Like, I wonder if it's just based on relationship or if maybe like professionally he sabotages himself. I'm wondering like how extensive this behavior is and how it bleeds out other parts of his life, or if it's just isolated to his relationships.
Yeah, it is self-destructive. And that makes me also think about like this as a self-worth thing. Like I think some people don't feel like they really are deserving of like a loving relationship. And so they don't mean to, but they do a bunch of stuff to mess it up.
I think also he knows what this feeling is. He knows how to get that dopamine hit. If you are in a relationship for a long enough amount of time, there's this new territory that you enter that is foreign and is equally, if not more rewarding, that I think people don't really drill down on or they forget about. Because I've been in relationships where there's that honeymoon period and it's all exciting up top. And then it gets a little more quote unquote boring if you look at it from that lens. But I think that's the next tier, the next rocket stage of the relationship where you can be yourself and that comfortable with someone. And that's, I think, equally or more rewarding. And some people just only understand that honeymoon phase and they never want to get to that stage 2 of the rocket.
I want to get to stage 2 of the rocket. That sounds awesome.
I think it's awesome. You know what I mean? Like, also, I mean, this is an offshoot of this feeling. But sometimes you'll be having lunch or dinner with someone who's relatively new in your life or something, or just some people can't be comfortable that they have to just like speak. They just don't like silence, so they'll fill. Or you've been to people who go like, "Oh, this is awkward," or
right,
just with
like,
one beat of silence. I go, "No, it's not."
Yeah.
Honestly, there's nothing more fulfilling to me than when I can eat with someone and we're not talking at all and no one feels angry. Like you're both just comfortable in each other's company. And if something comes up, but there's not this anxiety level in either of you where you need to fill the silence. If you can just be with another person, that's gold.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think he's afraid of that, or it's foreign to him, or he's scared of that.
Right.
And he knows a random DM saying, "Hey," responding to the story that you commented on. Like, that's the dopamine hit.
Yeah.
He doesn't know the dopamine hit of just being at brunch and not talking for 30 minutes. Not in a bad way, like it's a terrible relationship.
Yeah.
But how cool is it if you're reading a book and someone is on their phone and no one's mad at each other? You're just enjoying the day.
Yeah.
That's God tier relationship.
Yeah. For me, I like it if I can be in a car with someone and just like be quiet and looking out the windows and no one feels like they need to be talking.
Totally. Like, I mean, this is a terrible analogy, but I mean, get past the words. If your dog is just chilling by you on the couch, that dog is pretty content.
Right,
You're pretty content.
Right.
You're just both sentient beings in each other's company, and that's very fulfilling.
Yeah.
And that sometimes that should be enough.
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
dog shouldn't be like, why aren't you doing this the whole time while you're watching Succession? I need to, like, it doesn't have anxiety. It's just chilling.
Yeah.
It might do this sometimes, like,
Yeah.
Because he's just tired.
Yeah.
Or he's content.
Yeah.
Just, you want that for your relationship.
Well,
be a dog and you watching TV.
That's right. Be a dog and you watching TV. What I'm thinking about now also is just like when I'm spending time by myself, like I'm not bored, you know?
Yeah, same
Like,
way.
I can be with my thoughts and not be bored.
I've realized that it's not always typical, though.
Really?
Yeah, I am that way as well.
Yeah.
I can entertain myself.
Right.
I recharge my battery being by myself.
Yeah, same.
I don't need to go to a party. I like sitting with my thoughts. I'm not afraid of my thoughts.
Yeah.
I don't need to be distracted.
Right.
I'm good at being alone. I'm not saying I want to be, but I'm okay being alone. Some people aren't. And I think when it comes to relationships, I really want someone who is value added. And I don't want to be in a relationship just to be in a relationship. Like, I'd rather be in nothing than something that's bad or a weight on my life.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a slam dunk and this person is perfect in every way and you can't have any bad days.
Right.
But you need to be, I want to have a situation where you're able to talk through the problems or arguments in a healthy way and your baselines are pretty similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. But some people, I think they hit a certain age and they get scared or, again, that thing of they're not comfortable by themselves or with their own thoughts and all that. So they get in this situation is trying to make the best of it. Whereas I'd rather be alone until there's someone that is right.
Right. Yeah. And it's a real shame. And it's a sight to see because I know that we've all seen people. And I mean, I used to be one. I thankfully have learned how to enjoy my own company and be by myself also.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been amazing. And I think that that is the most important thing. But yeah, even like at our age and older than we are, like seeing people where they still need to always be in something and they're just like manically, I don't know, like obsessing over someone. I'm like, this person's like not even that great. But it's just that the alternative is being by themselves and like anything is better than that. And I'm like, damn, that sucks because you're going to have to like date some shitty people probably. Like a great person who's like awesome to be in a relationship with, those don't come around that often, you know? You at least have to have like a couple off months,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean?
Even just dating now, or I've reached this new area because I think initially when I was younger and I would date, you know, just as a guy, just every date you go on, you want that to turn into something.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really not the healthiest, especially when, if you didn't date a lot, that was my mindset, you know? So just like every date you go on, you think this could be it, or this, let's try to convert this.
Right.
Even if I'm older now and I've been on enough dates where now I enter it with, I can have a lovely breakfast or lunch.
Let's get through tea.
But yeah. But I'm not, it's almost like you're receiving information but not listening when you're younger.
Yeah.
Whereas now I'm like a coach watching the game happen rather than a player and it's moving so fast.
Right.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
To be going on dates now where you can have a lovely time and just know like, okay, this is a side mission.
Yeah.
This is not the thing.
Yeah.
Whereas I didn't have that kind of clarity when I was younger.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I think so much of that comes from like being okay with being by yourself, like not needing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not so hungry that you'll eat anything. So you can kind of watch and like, rather than like, I used to go on dates and I'm like, am I making the guy like me? Does the guy like me? Am I, you know, does he think I'm pretty?
And
does
you're
he
not
think
even
I'm smart?
evaluating him.
I'm not even evaluating him. And now like I evaluate them.
Yeah.
And that's a complete 180.
What was that for you? I think for me, what has allowed me to get to this, I think, better, more healthier, more powerful place when dating is I needed, I think my hang up was always like a professional thing, like professional and financial.
Yeah.
Because when you're a stand-up comedian, I was living in a studio apartment in Koreatown for so long.
Yeah. My
friends have houses and kids. It's arrested development when you're in entertainment.
Yeah.
You have to keep your nuts so low.
Right.
Because our lives are so sporadic.
Yeah.
So I didn't have the trappings of success. You know, I'm going on dates and stuff and I'm like 30 and I'm 30 something. I'm on my studio apartment in K-Town.
Yeah.
So I have my own hangups about self-worth and I'm not where I want to be.
Even if you could get a girl over, she wouldn't be able to park.
Yes, parking is tough. And then there's always the opening the door and there's the bed.
Is this the only piece of furniture you have? Is this
It
mattress
is.
on
I
the
built
floor
it. Let me take
without
your
a
coat.
Is there even a fitted sheet on this?
Yeah. Why is your walk-in closet the second biggest room? It's just, yeah. But now, financially, things are better. I'm in a much more stable place,
Yeah.
and I've done more things career-wise. So when you feel that way, it trickles into the relationships, and even when you date,
Right.
like, okay, I have that value, I have that self-worth, I'm a person who needed those totems
Yeah.
of success and worth to be able to outwardly exude that.
Yeah.
On stage was a different thing. Like comedy I didn't need those things to feel that.
Yeah.
Because I knew it, I felt it. My peers, like, you're just operating in one currency, which is funny and stand-up comedy.
Mhm.
And I've always had years of that in the game. But when it comes to a relationship, I just didn't have the things that are high value and status for the opposite sex. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to operate from that place of confidence.
Yeah.
Whereas now I do. Now I have the tropes.
Right.
Yeah.
That's interesting because I feel like in a lot of ways, like the opposite has happened for me. Like it's okay, but I feel like I've had less options the more successful I become.
Ooh, is it
like,
inverted with?
I mean, in my experience, because like the guys who have studio apartments don't want to date you because they feel threatened. Like I have a big, nice 1-bedroom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so they don't, I think that brings out like their own insecurities about their own stuff.
That is funny, just to be a dude and like threatened by your 1-bedroom.
Yeah.
Like it's literally that. They love everything
yeah.
about you, but then the fact that they have to open a door to get to your bedroom, they're like, I can't do this.
And I mean, this is stuff that like they've verbalized to me. Like have verbalized to me like I feel like I'm not good enough. I don't have enough professional success. Like this is stuff that has been said to me.
I mean, I get where they're coming from. It sucks that you're on the receiving end of it, but I've had those feelings before where I had my head down when it came to stand-up and entertainment, and seemingly in my mind, I have this window to do this thing. I've given up so much of my life. I used to be an engineer at Boeing, and like my parents didn't want me to do stand-up, and it was a lot of strife and battling to be able. I feel like I'm on the 1-yard line, and you can get distracted with a relationship, especially when you're living in a studio apartment. It's like eye on the prize. And there are some women out there who are like, I don't care about that stuff. I like you for you. And that is maybe very well and true, but this feeling of I can't emotionally get there until I have these things.
Yes.
It's almost like I got to put my mask on before I can put your mask on.
Yeah.
I know you don't need me to, but like I need to.
Yeah.
So there is an element of that. It sucks from, your end, but I get the guys too.
Yeah. I mean, you're not the first man I've heard say that and be like, I am not happy with what I'm doing in my life. I need to get this stuff before I can even. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Should we do another call?
Let's do it.
Hey, Lara, it's Asif. I need some advice on how do you suss out a scammer? Like when you go to the mechanic, how do you know that you're getting the real deal and you're not getting scammed?
You know what's kind of cool is I've like gotten a bunch of free stuff done on my car and like left and been like, wow, that guy was really nice. And then I'm like, oh, no, I think that guy liked me. But I still got a free oil change. I went in and there was some stuff wrong with, like, I thought there was some stuff wrong with my, I don't know. Yeah, I've had shit fixed.
Well, that's kind of oil change. Well, that'd be funny. Like that's a play that he does. You can't even check that he's done certain things. He's like, he's making up things like, yeah, I replaced you or whatever. And you're like, oh, thanks.
Yeah.
But he's just making up terms for car parts.
No,
like
how do you
check what it is?
Car dragging on like it was dragging.
Like an exhaust or
no, like I don't know, man, the under part. I don't know.
The undercarriage?
Yeah, the undercarriage. And I kept trying to, God, I'm such a piece of shit.
What?
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I kept trying to duct tape it back.
Hey, that sounds good to me.
Onto itself, but then it kept coming down. So I took it in and they just like fixed it.
Put a screw in.
And now they fix it, I don't know, once a year.
Oh, they really fixed it.
Once a year, they put the bottom of my car.
I come in every week. They put a new strap of duct tape on there. These guys are good. I gave him a good Yelp review.
It's free. What do you think I expect? Them to replace the panel and do a good job?
You know,
No.
fix it for
Do you know what
good.
I say? I'm like, hey, will you give my car another haircut? And they cut off another little piece of the panel.
A haircut.
Yeah. Like it needs another trim. And they do. They cut off a little piece and send me on my way. I give them some money, but they
Sure,
have
you
never
tip 'em?
charged me. Yeah.
Interesting. Because I feel like most women feel like they're getting ripped off or taken advantage of because of the stereotype of like, oh, she doesn't know what she's talking about.
I do check, and I guess that would be my advice to the caller. Like, I'll send text or whatever and be like, hey, how is this price for brakes? It's been like this amount of time. How is this price for whatever?
Wait,
you know?
what do you mean? Who do you check or?
Like, I'll ask a man, honestly.
Okay.
Hate to say
like
it that
we all
way,
just
but...
know the price of brakes. Like if you hit me up, I'm like, it doesn't sound right.
Well, do you know what brakes cost?
I have no idea.
You have no idea? Okay, well, then I would send a second text, Fahim.
Yeah,
you know?
I'd say text a real man.
Yeah. Notice you've never been on the receiving end
That's
of
a
that
good
text
point.
before.
Yeah. Fuck, but if you have duct tape questions, I'm your guy.
Yeah. I mean,
I'll
duct
tell you
tape,
what
it's-
Gorilla Glue is good, what duct tape is good. I'm like Kroger has a good off-brand.
The answer is usually just more when the question is duct tape.
How much duct tape?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it fell, put more on, which is what I did for quite some time.
I like Google review a place, and if it's rated pretty high, I just assume they're not gonna fuck me. But I mean, I don't know if that's the best foolproof
No,
method.
I mean, read the reviews. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that.
I mean, if someone doesn't charge me, I assume they haven't fucked me because they
That's a
didn't
good
get any
point.
money, you know? Yeah. But I'm guessing that's not what's happening here.
Well, there's sometimes recently my AC went out and we were having like 100-degree temperatures right now. Really didn't have much of a choice. Looked up some good, like you said, Google reviews, some Yelp reviews. Had the guy come over, told me what the part was. I found out the part only cost like $15, but then he's charging you for labor. So it ended up being about $300, whatever, to replace the whole thing. I felt it was worth it. I could have gone out and tried to find someone else to do it for less. But the problem was that's going to be a few more hours.
Yeah.
It's getting hotter. It's getting late in the day. And I was like, you know what? $300, let's just swallow that one and call it a day. Done.
As I've gotten older, I value time a lot more than money now too.
Yeah.
I will park it out when I have a gig on the weekend. I will park at LAX. I will keep my car there.
Yeah.
I will pay the money to keep my car at the garage.
Yeah.
It's just such a luxury at this point in my life because they're not paying us to do the gig pretty much. They're daring you to fly to Oklahoma to do the gig.
Right. Yeah.
They're putting a number in front of you where you go, all right.
Yeah.
I guess I have to. No, I'm sure it's lovely. But like part of the travel
no, you're
is
not
the
sure
most.
it's lovely. You're just being polite because first you said what you really felt and believed, and you're right.
No, because another thought was I've never been to Tulsa. I do want to check it out.
I'm
I'm
Oklahoma.
being completely serious here.
Nice.
Yeah. So, but the travel, what was the pause before nice? What was that?
What do you think the pause was before nice?
Just trying to find other great adjectives before you landed
Flat.
on nice. Oh,
Nice and flat.
Flat. Yeah, flat is good.
If you're looking for a patch of land, man, have they got you covered?
Okay, this is good to know. All right. But they're daring you to fly, and it's grueling on your body.
Yeah.
And, financially, we're in a better spot. It's just nice to be able to come to LAX, get your car, drive home.
Yeah.
It makes the gig more of a pleasure now.
I hear you. I don't support you in doing that. I think that's an outrage. I cannot believe the prices to park at LAX. Isn't it like $400, dude? Just park at my place and take like a $20 cab.
No, do like the remote parking, the Lot C or whatever, the new one. It's
interesting. So you park, but then there's a lot.
Well,
you're trying to
inside?
make your flight. You got to come there earlier and then you don't know when the shuttle comes.
Oh, you're parking like the lots that are like right outside of the
right
terminal.
there, baby.
Oh, that's
next
high
level.
Wow. Okay.
I'm like a Saudi prince, dude.
For real. I investigated that once and I was flabbergasted by the prices. I can't even remember them.
If you're gone for a weekend, it'll clock out to maybe $250 on the high end. It's not that bad.
For the whole thing, that's not that bad. If you're talking about taking $200 Ubers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a wash at this point.
Yeah.
Because Ubers got really expensive.
Yeah.
Look into it. Just full disclosure, I work for LAX.
Parking in Culver City and then taking like a $15 Uber.
I could do that. But again, these are like little...
It's for your time and not to have to do that.
These are social MacGyvering moves. There's something nice about being Wolverine and driving to LAX, parking.
Throwing your keys to somebody.
Yeah, go like, don't put a scratch on it, bub. And then just hopping on my Delta flight.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just hopping in coach after spending all this money.
That was what's going on in my head.
Cut corners where I can, and then just cram myself in the middle seat of coach.
Do you do that?
What do you mean?
You don't fly like Comfort Plus at least? Are you shitting me,
I'm
dude?
a coach, baby.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I love BDSM though. So
yeah, no kidding. Put this guy in a
They go,
trunk.
do you want any snacks? I go, no, just spit in my mouth. And I'm in the middle seat. Can you kick me in the balls? If they're bringing lunch service around, just punch me in the balls to wake me up. I want to have this hard bagel. That would be funny. That's my fetish, and I fly Spirit Airlines, and I just want to be treated like shit.
I love the idea of that for merch. I had that says kick me in the balls to wake me up for snacks. Or punch me in the balls to wake me up for snacks.
Maybe, that should be Spirit's new advertising angle.
Yeah.
Just like, we'll treat you like shit. Yeah, just to get all of these, subs.
Yeah.
They're wearing leather masks, and they're just, being treated so poorly. And they go, oh, I came so many times on my flight to New York.
Spirit, they charge
it's
you.
It's like I'm not even human.
They charge you even to come these days. You can't even come on this thing for free anymore.
Are wearing like leather. They just fully play into it. Tray table up.
Oh, they whip your hand.
Yes, ma'am. Oh. My TV's not working. Yeah.
So do you have any advice for us, if at all?
For not getting scammed? Yeah, quite the tangent.
We're
talking about Spirit Airlines like stomping on guys' balls, and then you bring it back like, so do you have any advice for Asif and his automotive troubles?
These people are calling in looking for help.
That's a good point. Well, I gave them some LAX parking advice. Let's see, how to not get scammed. So I would say what I do, which is looking for the Google reviews or Yelp reviews. If it has a lot of them, if it's 5 stars, then you just gotta trust humanity.
Oh yeah, you did say that. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I can't go into that assuming everyone's gonna fuck me. So those are 2 safe measures. I think that these are reputable, honest places. Like there can't be 500 cousins who left a review. If it's 5, that's suspect.
Yeah, that's a good point. That just reminded me of something that someone said to me recently, where he said that he read a book and it said basically anyone could lie to you at any time. So just always assume that everybody's lying to you. And I was like, I hear you, but that sounds like a pretty exhausting way to live.
Yeah, I do the opposite. I think people live by one of the two. Some people think everyone is trying to get them in the world.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's an exhausting way to live. I just assume the best, not in a naive way.
Right.
But I just assume the best in people. And if I get wronged, then now I know they've done me a service by knowing I can take them out of the pool of people I trust.
Right.
Yeah.
I like to guess.
You're like, I like to stereotype.
I like to just guess if I'm being lied to or not. I mean, I think most of us do, if I'm being honest.
What, lie?
No, guess.
Ah.
You guess if you're being lied to.
Sure, there's context and everything.
If I see someone lie about something else,
if they have a track record,
then I might think they're lying to me. Yeah.
Yeah. I just found for me, I like just assuming the best, or I'm not going to get fucked over.
Yeah.
I think my parents come from, they're more fearful or worried. They're worriers.
Yeah.
And I haven't picked that up.
Yeah.
Like even the career path that we're doing is just insanity to them, and they like the sure thing.
Yeah.
Just they're always worried about stuff. They're like, oh, don't do this joke. Like there's people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas I'm like, I think it's fine. Yeah. I just like living that way. It's a more optimistic way to live, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I get where they're coming from. They come from a country that it was a big gamble to do that. So then once you come here, you just hunker down for stability. You're not like, let it ride.
Right. Take it easy.
Yeah.
Time to coast.
Yeah, like, okay, we're here. Be a doctor. Plant some roots.
Right.
Yeah, you don't see what's behind door number 3 when you're an immigrant.
Yeah. Yeah. Something that has been helpful to me in my relationships is someone said to just go by what people say. So even if someone appears pissed at me, if they're just like, no, I'm fine, whatever, then the advice I got was like, go with that. Just go with that, And it's been helpful to me because I think it's kept me from getting into stuff where like the person has said what they're gonna say. You know what I mean? Like no one can be pissed at you for believing what they told you.
Yeah.
So if someone's like, no, I'm not mad. And you're like, oh, okay. And you go about your day as if they're not mad. Like if they decide to tell you that they actually are, then let them do that. But otherwise don't carry the weight of it.
Totally. I agree with this. Sometimes you'll be in relationships and you can tell if someone is bothered and I will just operate. I think a place of maturity or the beauty of being an adult is that if you have a problem with someone, then you'll tell them. Like if something bothers me, then I will eventually tell the person the issue I had or we'll talk it out. I'm not going to stew and just hope that that person can mind read me or see these minor body language things I do and then draw it out of me.
Right.
So even though I know something's wrong, I don't want to say, well, are you okay? What's wrong?
Right.
If you're an adult, you'll tell me what's wrong.
Yeah.
And for me, that's healthy.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to guess or play this game like children do that.
Right.
Where you just stew for a long time and just hope that like I'll figure out what's wrong, what I've done wrong.
Yeah.
Tell me what I've done wrong. I'll accept it. We'll talk through it. It's not a game show where you like stew and then I go, is it this? Is it this? And then it's just, I don't like being in that place of needing the validation or like, I've never texted someone, are you mad at me?
Right.
I will never text someone, are you mad at me? Yeah.
Yeah. What I will do is I will ask one, is everything okay?
Mm-hmm.
And if the person's like, yeah, I'm fine, whatever. Then it's like, okay, well, I'm here if you decide you want to talk. And then just leave it there. Because that expresses concern. It acknowledges that something could be going on that's not about me, you know? Because sometimes people just are not feeling right about something else. It's something they don't feel like talking about. It has nothing to do with me. It's not personal. And that at least like gives the person, I don't know, the dignity of that being a possibility. And not, I don't know, not feeling like it's going to be a fight or like it is a fight. And my thing, like, I won't stew on something, but I will pause. Like, I won't stew, but I will pause. And I'll be like, where is this coming from in me? Is this me taking something personally? Is this my own anxiety where I feel like I should be getting more than my fair share of attention or something? You know what I mean? Like, I'll look at my part. I might run it by like a trusted friend. But then if it's a thing, then I'll be like, hey, I'm feeling this way about that. Yeah.
And that's great. Just, I like when someone has the confidence and just, or the wherewithal to say, hey, I didn't like this, or then now it's a tennis match.
Right. But it doesn't need to be immediate and it doesn't need to be about every little thing. That's the thing for me too, is like, you don't actually have to bring to my attention every single thing you don't like. You don't have to bring to anyone's attention every single thing you don't like in life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If it's a tiny enough thing, I think that like a big part of being of being in like a healthy, enjoyable relationship is having the other person not feel like they have to walk on eggshells because every single thing they don't like is going to be a conversation.
Something you said, I don't know if people do this or not, but if I was in a relationship and there's an issue and there's something hanging there, if you said, just like give me a beat or like, let me think about like, that's even cool. Where it's almost tabling it for a little bit so you understand something's going on, you're processing it. That's better than just a nebulous nothing.
Right.
Just like, it's good. I just need a minute or I'm just going to need to think about it.
Yeah. Like I hear what you're saying. I just need to come back
Sit
to
on
this.
It. Yeah. And then we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I respect that.
Yeah. Because people just want to feel heard too, a lot of the time. It's so funny. I like the idea of like sitting on it, pausing with it and coming back and being like, you're such a bitch. Why are you doing this?
Like taking the worst lessons. You had 3 hours, you meditate, and then you come back with the most toxic qualities. Your fucking mom and blah, blah, blah. Like you're on 11.
You somehow gained the worst perspective. They're like, who did you check in with about this?
I just picture you sitting cross-legged next to a stream, just really doing some inventory.
I think that's a really funny sketch idea. Going
like
through books of wisdom, like reading the Bible and like the Quran, and then you come back and you're like, this is your fucking mom. I swear to God, dude. That's what I'm hearing
We need to put her in a home. Like what? That's what Confucius
doesn't have any
taught
health
you?
problems. Yeah, well, I'm going to give her one if you don't keep coming back to me with this shit.
Yeah. Meditating has really been helpful for me. This would have taken me weeks to reach this conclusion.
I've noticed you only call me a bitch after you meditate. What are you like thinking when that's happening? Like, could we try like a different kind? Maybe like a guided one? Is it like a YouTube thing you're watching?
Your
And
yogi. You got your yogi off of Yelp. Or, not Yelp, what was a bad one? Who knows? Craigslist.
Angie's List?
Yeah. No, Angie's List is reputable.
Well,
Angie's List is reputable, dude.
Yeah, man. You don't shit on. We do an ad read for Angie's List right now.
Talk about Angie here.
Zero luck.
Should we do another one?
Hey guys, I have a question regarding a spouse's or partner's anxiety and triggers. My husband grew up with a single mom, and they have a lot of anxiety around storms. She grew up and had some traumatic experience with storms. We live in the Midwest, like Tornado Alley. So anytime it rains, she gets very anxious and she drives over to our house to sleep in our basement. No problem. I've accepted that. That's no issue. My husband, though, we have 2 children, a toddler and a baby. And now sometimes when it storms, he wants to immediately take everybody down to the basement. It's unfinished. It's just like a man cave. And I try to very rationally be like, hey, I don't think we need to. The weather doesn't say or show any dangerous reasons to go down. And he's adamant, and in that moment thinks that I am not respecting his anxiety or like making light of it, which makes it worse. And then he'll start to like spiral, and he feels like he's not able to protect his children, which is also a trigger because he grew up in an abusive house. Any advice? Thank you.
That sounds like a tough one.
Yeah.
That's like a double black diamond. That's not typical. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not doling out tornado advice to my friends very often.
No. You know what that makes me think is like they need someone to mediate that conversation who is a professional.
Like a storm chaser?
Like a storm chaser. Well, because my first thought is like, okay, so maybe they could come up with some black and white stuff. If it says on the news to go to the basement, then they get to all go to the basement. But it sounds like this guy has like emotional problems attached to these storms, you know? Like she's saying that he has anxiety and it's really triggering for him. So it seems like he needs to work through that stuff.
I think it might be hard for him to hear as well because it feels very real. But I think an element that may be helpful is that if you are reacting the way you react, if it was just you, it's fine. But it's our kids involved. And now you're passing this on to them. Do you want him to grow up and have, you know, I'm sure he recognizes the slight problem or the degree of it is up to him. But do you want to pass that on to your kids because you are training him to go into the basement for a blade of grass moving or bending?
Right. Yeah.
So that might make it more real, or maybe that'll snap him out, maybe to be a little more logical when he thinks about passing those traits on to his kids. Maybe he'll be more open to hear it and receive it.
Yeah.
But then I don't know. How do you solve that though? Because if the mom comes over, does she come over for the big stuff or like
I mean,
all the time?
This lady sounds really kind and understanding.
Yeah.
Because I even don't know. I mean, I guess if she doesn't have a basement, but also, I don't know, if you're coming over for every storm, like I'm from the Midwest too, there are a lot of storms in the summer. They all sound like they're going to crack your house in half. There are also a lot of tornado watches and a lot of tornado warnings, and that's when you go to the basement. So like we used to have to go to the basement quite a bit in the summer when I was growing up, but we didn't go when we didn't have to, because that would have been all the time. Like, that's a lot. I also understand, like, when you have extreme anxiety about something like that, from his perspective, he's probably like, is it that big of a deal if I take the babies to the basement? If it's going to make the difference between, like, them being okay and, like, what if a tree comes through the roof?
Yeah. Maybe set up some ground rules, or if the news says, then okay, we go down.
Right.
Just some sort of, instead of this nebulous, go down whenever, when it's based off of feelings rather than facts.
Yeah.
That may not be the healthiest. And the mom coming over, that seems fine. If it feels comfortable just being with family, hanging out, sitting on the couch, there's not a problem with that. But I think picking up the kids and being like, we gotta get to the fucking basement, everybody.
It's fine if she's cool. It's not cool if she's amping everyone up. You know what I mean? But from his perspective, again, it's like, well, I'm not going to just have my mom be scared at her place if she doesn't have a basement or whatever.
Just lay down some ground rules. Be like, Mom,
Right.
welcome to the crib. Chill. He's got to be chill.
Right. But if he's not chill, he can't chill her out.
Yeah.
And then
Then
they're
maybe the
winding each
wife
other
needs
up.
to be the chill police.
It sounds like the wife is trying real hard.
It's tough.
Yeah. It's tough being a mom
I guess so.
of a bunch of in a house of 4 people who are afraid of a storm.
What if my solution is move to a non-tornado place?
But a
Take it
non-tornado
off the table.
place, in my experience, is like a fireplace or an earthquake place or a flood place.
What do you think is the most set it and forget it city that you could live in where there's no drama?
I mean,
There's
was
earthquakes in
not-
LA. That's not good.
I was
So that
not
doesn't
really
work.
afraid of the weather when I lived in Milwaukee. Like, I think if you live in like a Midwestern city, it's like,
There you
yeah,
go.
it can flood. I
We
mean,
solved it.
it flooded, but like, I don't know, then the water drained and it was fine.
You know,
Like,
yeah. You know, it'd be a good pivot for the podcast, just over engineering your solutions. So they go, this one's easy. Move to Milwaukee. Next caller. This is easy. Like Ari was having problems with the thing, be like, I got it for you. Be gay.
yeah, just be gay, dude. Although if he was gay, I could imagine this being the exact same issue he would
That's
face.
a good point.
But
All
that's
right.
what makes the advice funny, is that it's completely unhelpful. Like moving to Milwaukee, they still have tornadoes. They have
Oh, they
thunderstorms.
do?
Yeah, this
Come
guy's,
on, what are you doing then?
but they don't like come through the city. I don't know where they go. What are you looking at me
Well,
like that for? Am I wrong? Am I dumb? If I'm dumb, tell me.
Yeah,
'cause
I'm not saying you're dumb, but you're like saying that the storms don't come through the city. At some point, there's got to be one that comes through the city.
You know what, JP? Sometimes you repeat something as an adult and then you realize that was what you were told as a child to keep you from being afraid. And then you say it and someone looks at you across the room the way you just looked at me and you realize that's not true. Of course they can go through the
That's
city.
pretty funny, just regurgitating things that your parents told you to go to bed, even though they're not true.
Tornadoes don't go to Milwaukee, they go to
Yeah.
Illinois. And then I'm like, oh, no. They took us to the basement because they knew that we could die. Okay.
What about Seattle? They can move. I lived in Seattle.
just gonna ask
There was
about
no
Seattle
natu-
doesn't flood, it rains constantly.
It doesn't really flood. There's no huge disaster.
What about
Although-
earthquakes?
Nah, hardly any.
You
There
guys-
was one, very sporadic.
What do you guys
Hardly
get?
ever. I remember there was one when I was in high school. There was an earthquake, but it's not like here.
Right.
There's one every 2 a year or something here.
Oh, I think I'm going to die every time there's an earthquake here.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I wait for my ceiling to crumble in. Every time it
Oh.
happens, I realize I have no plan. I have earthquake survival kits, but I'm like, well, I'm far away from those right now. And then I watch the ceiling to see if it caves in and kills me.
I got pretty used to it. There was a point, I remember I was in my studio apartment in K-Town. I'm in bed, and there's an earthquake, and I just waited it out in the bed.
Isn't that what you're supposed to do?
Oh, I don't know. I think you're supposed to leave the apartment, go downstairs,
But
or
at
get.
what point?
It was just rumbling a bit, and
Like
I was
when
just,
it
I was
feels crazy?
annoyed. I wasn't scared. I was
Yeah.
like, ugh, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not the best earthquake advice.
Man, sleep is real disarming because I definitely have had the experience of like, is it going to stop?
Yeah, it's not a bad way to die. Just
Yeah.
really comfortable in a bed.
Comfortable
If
and
a
confused.
slab comes down on me,
Yeah.
so be it.
Yeah, well, shit.
Yeah,
I
you
think
don't
that
want
about,
to you don't want to be fully alert and die.
yeah.
There was one thing in the call that I thought that maybe I think it's a secondary, tertiary thing to address here. But she did mention when she was talking about the basement that it's unfinished. It was a very sort of like throwaway line. She's like, it's unfinished. It sounds like maybe this has been an issue that they want to deal with. Maybe, I don't know, if he works on his issues and he really still wants to go downstairs, why don't we make it more
Make it a nice basement.
enjoyable for the
Genius.
kids?
100%.
So I fear
There
that these
we
kids are going
go.
to be having these horrible memories of being in some unfinished basement
Yeah.
with these sirens going off.
Unfinished drywall, and you're
Right.
traumatized when you grow up.
Yeah.
I can smell the basement when she says that. It smells like my basement.
So okay, that's sort of a way to have your trauma and not get shit about it. Just
And
make
eat
it
it
to
too.
eat it, have your trauma and eat it too. Is to just finish the basement, make it an awesome hang.
That's it. I love that. I
What
love
would,
that.
what would be a thing that the wife would love to do down there?
A basketball hoop. Can't believe you have to ask.
All right, this is a basketball family.
An easel.
An easel. She could do her painting. He can be terrified, and she could do
Yeah.
her painting.
Yeah.
This
a
is-
ping pong table.
Oh, this is all upside.
Pop a shot.
Yeah. I don't know what that is.
So then when the kid grows up and there's a storm, he gets excited to play games.
Yeah, he associates danger with a good time.
Yeah. He just busts out Monopoly when there's a tornado barreling down.
One of his eyes is twitching. He's just like, I don't know, I just feel a lot when there are storms.
That's his coping mechanism.
Still
just
absorbing the
awesome
tension
games.
from his parents' relationship. His mom is so tired.
Yeah, finish the basement. There
I
you go.
think that's it. And I really love that piece of advice because it is so specific to this situation. Like, it's not, you can't generalize that. Good luck, other listeners, taking jack shit from that one to apply to your own lives. Well, no, I think the message is just like, look at the specific situation and don't necessarily, I don't know, try to cast a blanket over a whole thing. Yeah, don't get marriage counseling. Fuck that. Couples counseling ruined my life.
Also, save money. Put it in the basement.
Put it into the basement. Take your couples counseling money.
Yeah.
Put it into finishing your basement. That's the solution.
You can get the upper level ping pong table with a little more gloss.
Get a couple baby beds down there, dude. Put them to bed down there.
You're going to want to spend all your time in that basement.
Move your whole family into
It's
the
gonna
basement.
be so nice.
Under all circumstances, you're in the basement now. Should they just live in the basement?
What if that's the solution? Yeah.
I think it
You
is.
see, the wife, you've created a separation between the basement and upstairs. If you just live your entire life in the basement, there's nowhere to go. You're already there.
What you need to do is unfinish your upstairs.
Yes, make the basement more appealing than
Make
your
the basement the upstairs.
That's what it is.
And the upstairs
your
the basement.
living quarters are too nice.
Right.
And so you're downgrading when you go downstairs.
Yeah.
Upgrade when you go downstairs.
That's right.
So I would sledgehammer some of the walls in the living room, rip off some of the light fixtures.
100%. Take the carpet, put it in the basement.
Put the refrigerator in the basement.
That's right.
Just make it as hostile of environment upstairs.
And then, like, people won't break in either. So you're actually reducing, like, some other very real threats because people will look in the windows and be like, what is this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just looks like
They won't go in there.
like a house from The Last of Us.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, great. Well, I think we
We did
nailed
it.
it. I think we stuck the landing on this. Thank you so much for joining us. You guys can see Fahim on tour. His self-released latest special hat trick where he does spots in all 3 rooms at the Comedy Store is available on YouTube. Another podcast I've been listening to that's so funny is my friend Steph Tolev's podcast. It's called Steph Infection. She talks to people about their diseases. It's hilarious. I highly recommend you listen to that. New episodes of Unsound Advice will be available every Tuesday morning at unsoundadvicepod.com and wherever you get your podcasts, including YouTube. We want you to be a part of the show. If you'd like some Unsound advice, send an email or a voice memo to Lara at unsoundadvicepod.com. And don't worry, we won't use your name unless you really want us to for some reason. And take what you like and leave the rest. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
That was fun.
That was fun.
I think we changed a lot of lives.
I mean, I don't know for the better, but they're
But they're changed.